Good morning, everyone. Today is July 29th, 2020. This is a regular meeting of the members of the State Liquor Authority. Present today in Albany is Chairman Bradley. Participating by video conference are Commissioners Ford and Fan, who can be seen on the screen and in the recording. Staff present are Deputy Commissioner of Licensing Roberts, Councilor Meyerhoff, and myself, Secretary Donahue, all present in the Albany office. We will, for the most part, take items as they appear on the calendar that's available on the website. However, we will be doing first 5 items, requests from Council's office. Oh, I'm sorry, Chairman, do you have anything before we get going?
No.
5 requests from Council's office for emergency summary orders of suspension. The first item is 00922E. Is King's OP 1264669. Licensee is ILGT LLC.
Go ahead.
Is this, Alex, is that you?
No.
Sorry, it was muted.
Okay, yeah.
Good morning, members. This is Kayla O'Donnell on behalf of Council's office. Council's office is seeking an emergency summary order suspension for licensee ILGT LLC doing business as Union Grounds, as this licensee has violated several executive orders which were put in place to protect the public from the spread of COVID-19. On July 24th, 2 New York State Fire Protection Specialist investigators made observations of the exterior of the licensed premises. The investigators observed employees selling alcoholic beverages without accompanying food. In fact, there were no tables available, yet staff continued to serve and allow purchase of beverages from the bar. Beverages were being served in glasses or bottles without lids or straws. Staff were seen bringing drinks to tables without wearing a required face covering. At least 3 employees were noted to not be wearing face coverings as required by the executive orders. At least 12 patrons were observed drinking while standing in direct violation of the executive orders and SLA guidance. The licensee has been charged with violating executive orders 202.38, 202.43, and 202.16, as well as failing to supervise the premises. Today is July 29th, and by now, 2 things have been made abundantly clear to license holders. First, face coverings must be worn by employees. Second, patrons are not to be standing, walking, or milling about while drinking. By not requiring all employees to wear face coverings and allowing a dozen patrons to stand while drinking, the licensee has shown an inability to comply with the executive orders, which alone warrants a summary suspension of this license. Since the licensee has shown an inability to comply with the executive orders, which were designed to prevent further spread of COVID-19, which hit New York City especially hard, to allow the licensee to operate while the charges are litigated would endanger the health, welfare, and safety of patrons and employees, as well as their families and the community as a whole. In consideration of them, immediate action in the form of an emergency order of summary suspension is required. Thank you.
Commissioner Fan, any questions?
No, I do not have any questions. Thank you.
Commissioner Ford, any questions?
No, I don't have any questions.
Chairman Bradley?
No questions.
Right, then I'm going to call for your vote. Commissioner Fan?
This licensee has committed multiple violations of the executive order at least since July 24th, when fire protection investigators visited, and they were found to be serving drinks without food, crowds gathering outside, the service is improper with no lids or straws, and employees and patrons alike are not wearing proper masks and not properly social distancing. This establishment is a waste of valuable investigative resources, and due to imminent threat to public health, safety, and welfare, I'm voting to summarily suspend this license.
Commissioner Ford?
I vote to suspend for the same reasons.
Chairman Bradley?
I vote to suspend for the same reasons.
Right, the next item I have is 00922F. Bronx OPD 1309967, Low 718 Corp.
Good morning, members of the board. This is Glow 718 in the Bronx. First license in October of 2018. On Saturday night, an SLA investigator visited and observed approximately 40 to 50 people congregating in the street and on the sidewalk near the licensed establishment. Many of them were standing very close to each other, not engaging in social distancing. They were drinking alcoholic beverages, smoking hookah, and dancing. The investigator said there was no food at all on the tables, just bottles of liquor, some hookah, and drinks. This is there was no indication that from anyone. I didn't see any face masks in the photos. The photos really tell the picture. No one had a face mask. No one was social distancing. It appeared to be a nightclub scene rather than a dining experience. This was all at 11:40 on Saturday night. So because of the dangerous situation regarding the pandemic and no indication that anyone was taking it seriously at all, we request a summary suspension order to protect the public health.
Yeah, thank you, Mark. Let me just add that this is, just to reiterate, the pictures do tell the story here. This is exactly the scene that we are trying to avoid in New York, with people standing and drinking in between the tables that are set up for supposedly, safely spaced dining experience. No one who owns or runs a place in New York right now could look at this scene and not know immediately that they were violating the law. So they were happy to continue violating the law. Can't be trusted to follow it going forward, so summary suspension has been requested.
Commissioner Fan, do you have any questions?
No, I don't have any questions.
Commissioner Ford?
Are they normally permitted to have hookah?
That wasn't mentioned in the report.
I'm not sure. We can dig that up.
No, I'm just asking. Don't worry about it. It's not readily available. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, if it was material to your decision, we would find it, so.
Right.
Okay, Chairman Bradley, any questions?
No question.
All right, with that, I'll call for your votes. Commissioner Fan?
This licensee has committed multiple violations of the governor's executive order relating to the pandemic by allowing large crowds to gather outside, drinking alcohol with no food, service past curfew, dancing on the streets and sidewalk, and not sufficient use of face masks by both patrons and employees. This licensee has allowed a nightclub atmosphere to happen on his street, and is a clear disregard for this authority and also the standing laws surrounding COVID safety. And so due to imminent threat to public health, safety, and welfare, I'm voting to summarily suspend this license.
Commissioner Ford?
I vote to summarily suspend as well for all of those reasons.
And Chairman Bradley?
I vote to summarily suspend. The pictures here are outrageous. They definitely tell the scene that was going on here, and it's quite clear that there were absolutely no precautions being taken by this licensee, and he deserves to be shut.
All right, then the next item is 00922G, New York OP 1318749, the Mitchell Sisters Corp.
morning, Chairman, Commissioners Fan and Ford, Senior Attorney Caraminal, on behalf of Council's Office, this request for summary order suspension for the Mitchell Sisters Corp. DBA Grill on the Hill. On July 27th at approximately 7 p.m., investigators Warnix Marte from the New York State Police and Lorenzo Hernandez from the New York State Justice Center observed 2 tables of patrons consuming alcoholic beverages while seated at tables set up in front of the licensed premises without any substantial food having been served to them. 1 bag of potato chips was subsequently observed on one of the tables. Upon entering the licensed prem, 2 patrons were observed standing at an inside bar consuming alcoholic beverages. Again, no food was observed on the bar or actively being served to patrons. When investigators subsequently questioned the manager about the lack of food being served along with alcoholic beverages, the manager, Terry Warren, indicated that 1 table had purchased potato chips and the other table, as well as the patrons at the bar, were in the process of waiting for their food orders to be served. The need for licensees to sell substantial food along with alcoholic beverages is central to the governor's executive orders and has been widely reported via media sources, constitute a point of emphasis for New York during the reopening period in the name of public health and safety. As a result, it is the position of the Office of Counsel that it is not reasonable to believe that a licensed retailer could be unaware of his responsibilities to sell substantial food with every alcoholic beverage purchase. Indeed, the manager's immediate reference to the bag of potato chips purchased by one of the tables outside of his premises upon questioning by investigators indicates that licensee was well aware of the need to sell food along with alcoholic beverage purchases under the governor's executive orders, but merely chose to attempt to circumvent the requirement to do so in an effort to gain more customers at the expense of his more responsible competitors who actually followed the rules. Due to the foregoing, the Office of Counsel hereby requests an immediate order suspension be issued for this license. Thank you.
Yeah, just to bolster what Paul said, there are people inside this place either sitting and drinking or standing and drinking or ordering, and it's illegal. We can't have restaurants and licensees who are not obeying the rules to make this just an outdoor seated table service experience. It's just too great a risk. That's what the pictures show.
Okay, then, Commissioner Fan, do you have any questions?
Council, the only violation here is the food.
That is correct.
Well, there's also service inside, and
Right.
service at a stand-up bar, ordering from a stand-up bar.
Okay.
And that stand-up was out, the stand-up
Yeah.
bar was outside.
No, the stand-up bar was inside. We had consumption at the
Inside,
bar with no food. Yes, correct.
So that's service inside.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yep. But then I see that the people outside are not wearing masks. It looks like the
They're
people
seated,
inside.
they're seated. They're seated, they're allowed to not wear a mask while they're seated. The point outside is the lack of food.
Okay.
And Commissioner Ford, any other questions? Or any
So
questions?
we didn't see any food being sold or consumed. Did we see any food being prepared?
There's nothing in the
It said
report
that-
about. No.
Because it said customers were waiting for their food orders. I was wondering if you noticed any food being prepared.
There's nothing in the report to indicate that food is being prepared. Commissioner.
All right. Thank you.
Chairman Bradley, any questions?
No.
All right, then I'll call for your vote. Commissioner Fan,
This licensee has committed violations of the governor's executive order by allowing indoor service of alcohol and service of alcohol outside without food. This licensee is blatantly disregarding the governor's executive order, and I'm voting to suspend his license due to imminent threat to public health, safety, and welfare.
Commissioner Ford,
I'll vote to suspend for all the same reasons.
And Chairman Bradley.
I think Commissioner Fan summarized it as well as I could, so I vote to summarily suspend on exactly the same grounds.
And then the next item, 00922H, Kings TW 1301825, Isola Inc.
Morning, Chairman Bradley, Commissioner Fan, and Commissioner Ford.
Good morning.
Morning.
Bill Brennan, Council's office. I'm here today on behalf of Council's office to request that the board summarily suspend the licensee for blatantly violating Executive Orders 202.52, 202.3, and 202.43. The premises has been licensed since July of 2017 as a bar tavern serving beer, wine, and cider. The licensee, Isola Inc., DBA Regular Visitors, is located at 149 Smith Street, New York, New York. On July 24, 2020, investigator John Dalen, along with investigator Chris Murray, performed an inspection of the licensed premises. When the investigators arrived, they observed approximately 20 patrons seated outside the premises consuming beverages. None of the 20 patrons had any food. There were 5 tables that had wine glasses containing what appeared to be wine that did not have lid on it. This occurred in blatant violation of the Governor's Executive Order 202.52 and associated guidance regarding the on-premises service of food. The investigators observed patrons go to the premises and purchase alcoholic beverages, then retreat to one of the tables to seat outside. None of the patrons they observed received food of any kind with their order. This clearly violated the Governor's Executive Order 202.3 and associated posted guidance regarding service inside the premises and or takeout and delivery service. The investigators entered the premises where they met with the principal, Neil Rasmus. The investigators asked Mr. Rasmus if the patrons seated outside purchased food or received food with their alcoholic beverages. Rasmus replied no. He indicated that the premises had no way to cook or prepare food. The fact that the principal was present and didn't ensure conformity with the current EOs was operating a stand-up bar leading to the congregation of 20 people in front of the premises is a blatant violation of the Governor's Executive Order 202.43 regarding violations of social distancing and open container laws and the associated guidance for patrons within 100 feet of the licensed premises. I spoke with Investigator Dallin, and he explained that patrons would go to the premises, obtain their drinks, and then wander out and find a seat to sit and enjoy the live music provided by a person playing a guitar in the doorway of the premises. Employees were busy selling alcoholic beverages, quote, to go from the front of the premises without any type of food whatsoever. The investigator did not note any security or supervision of any kind over the patrons sitting outside. The patrons were there to listen to live music, apparently oblivious to the current pandemic. The licensee took no action to ensure the safety of his patrons, even though he was at the premise while this inspection occurred. It's clear that the licensee showed a blatant disregard for the executive orders and the authorities' rules and guidance. In doing so, the licensee put not only their patrons' health and safety at risk, but also the health and safety of the community and the public at large. This licensee put their own profit over the public's health, safety, and well-being. For these reasons, we respectfully request that the board issue an order imposing an emergency summary suspension on the licensee in order to protect the public's health, safety, and well-being.
Commissioner Fan, any questions?
Council Brennan, can we just clarify that this location is actually in Brooklyn? I believe that the form that was filled out by the investigator says New York, New York, but our cover sheet says Brooklyn, New York.
I believe it's 149 Smith Street, New York, New York.
I believe this location is in Brooklyn, though.
The licensed address that we have on file is 149 Smith Street, Brooklyn, New York.
So we're suspending the one in Brooklyn.
I went by the serial number, Commissioner, and the serial number, I did look at compliance.
Can you read the serial number to us?
Are you telling me? I'm
No.
sorry, I'm just loading.
I did not
Chippy.
bring it to the room, Mr. Chairman.
All right, Adam, do you have the serial?
Serial number is 1301825.
That's the one in
And it's
Brooklyn.
King's Tavern Wine, right?
I'm sorry, Commissioner.
Yeah, it's King's Tavern Wine. Okay.
No, this premises is not King's Tavern Wine. This premises is Isola Inc., DBA, regular visitors.
Okay.
I'm going to run a quick search on the principal just to make sure he doesn't have anything else.
Yeah, no, the problem is that the problem is that the report from the investigator says New York, New York. I think that's the only thing that says New York, New York. Am I right?
There are two things. Yeah. On the New York
Yeah, the license,
form.
I have a picture of the license here, and the license says Brooklyn, New York.
I mean, other than that's the right place. Yeah, the license.
So the principal, Neil Rasmus, like council mentioned in the report, only has one license in Brooklyn, New York at the address council referred to.
Okay. That's fine.
149 Smith
I just
Street,
want to
Brooklyn, New
clarify.
York.
Say that again, Adam. 140 what?
149 Smith Street, Brooklyn, New York. 1301825. Principal referred to Neil Rasmus has only one license at that location or any other location.
Okay. Thank you, Commissioner, for clarifying that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else, Commissioner Fan?
Nope, I'm good, thank you.
Commissioner Ford?
No, I don't have any questions.
Chairman Bradley?
No question.
All right, with that, I'll call for your vote. Commissioner Fan?
This licensee has committed multiple violations of the governor's executive order by allowing indoor alcoholic service and not sufficient use of face mask and drinking outside the establishment as well. And also the lack of food service. This licensee is clearly disregarding the governor's executive order surrounding the COVID pandemic, and due to imminent threat to public health, safety, and welfare, I'm voting to summarily suspend this liquor license.
Commissioner Ford?
The manager admitted they don't serve food nor have any way of preparing it. Didn't have the proper license on site, selling alcohol without food, and crowds congregating outside within 100 feet. I vote to summarily suspend this license as well.
Chairman Bradley?
I vote to summarily suspend the license. The licensee, even without the EO violations, is non-bona fide because there is obviously no food available at any time. But with the additional EO requirements, which he is completely unable to make or follow, there's clearly a risk to public health, safety, and welfare. I vote to summarily suspend.
All right, the next item, 00922I, Ladies Sports Bar, Queensville, P 1313118.
Good morning, board members. Alex Lloyd for Council's Office. Council's Office submits the subject licensee, Ladies Sports Bar, located at 17012 Jamaica Ave, Jamaica, New York, to members of the authority to consider an emergency order of summary suspension of its retail on-premises liquor license pursuant to Section 413 of SEPA. Ladies Sports Bar was issued an OP license on 8/7/2019, which expires on 7/31/2021. It was issued as a bar with recorded music, no dancing, and no security, and it's located in a mixed area neighborhood. The sole principal is Angel Gaston Valencia. SLA investigator Matthew Davis made a visit to the licensed premises, a disclosed visit, on Monday, July 27, 2020 at approximately 6:43 p.m. While at the licensed premises, he observed at least 8 patrons inside consuming alcoholic beverages, and he observed at least 1 employee not wearing a face mask, and that employee was the manager, one Mr. Froylan Salinas. Obviously, as far as the executive orders, the governor's executive orders go, the coronavirus is very serious, and patrons consuming alcohol inside an establishment is one of the most egregious violations that a licensee can be committing at this time. Not to mention the fact that that violation, that has been a violation since coronavirus began. The pandemic began back in March, so the licensee cannot claim to be unaware of any guidance and or regulations related to this specific EO. Additionally, these executive orders have been in place for months, and employees are also required to wear masks. As the executive orders were designated to prevent the spread of this deadly virus, and the licensee clearly cannot be trusted to follow the law, even when human life so obviously depends on it. We respectfully ask that the members summarily suspend this license because there's clearly an imminent risk to the public health, welfare, and safety by allowing this licensee to continue to operate in this manner.
Thank you.
Commissioner Fan, any questions?
Are they supposed to have a manager or no manager?
No manager.
Okay, and there are other pending charges against this licensee?
Yes, there are 2 unadjudicated matters that are not executive order matters. The licensee, as I said, opened 8/7/2019, so it's not even a year old yet, and there was a police inspection back in November. During that inspection, the licensee failed to present their required books and records. Their pregnancy sign and their prohibited sales signs were both not posted. There were fireworks / sparklers found on the premises. Patrons were observed dancing in the back of the licensed premises, and the premises is also not allowed to have security guards, and there were security guards working that night. So that's also a failure to conform to the application. Additionally, we received a police report regarding an altercation that happened at the licensed premises in December. This is the second pending case. The report on that altercation is there was an unruly patron, but the patron was subsequently beat up by a security guard. When police arrived, again, the licensed premises is not supposed to be employing security guards, and upon further investigation, it was determined that said security guard involved in the altercation was actually unlicensed as well. But as I said, neither of those matters have been adjudicated yet.
I want to clarify for the record that the license does allow them to have 1 to 2 security guards as needed on the weekends.
Well, this is Monday night, so it's.
So if that was the case, it's not, but for the record, on the weekends as needed, they are allowed security
What
guards.
about dancing? Well, you know, we don't need to litigate the cases that are pending. The fact is the location does have cases in progress that suggest that they may not be the greatest at supervising, but those have not yet
Yes.
been adjudicated.
Yes, agreed. Thank you, council. I don't have any more questions. Thank you.
Okay, Commissioner Ford, any questions?
I'm good. I'm good.
Chairman Bradley?
No questions.
I'll call for your vote. Commissioner Fan?
As council mentioned, this licensee probably have not been operating in a very beginning. Within 3 months of getting his license, he have had dancing on site, perhaps improper use of security guards, other fire safety issues, signage issues, books and records issues, and then eventually also has a disorderly charge. And lately, during this COVID pandemic, this licensee has clearly committed multiple violations of the governor's executive order. In the pictures, you see multiple tables of patrons sitting inside the establishment there's our servers not using proper masks, and there's no food being served along with the alcoholic drinks. This licensee cannot be expected, and we cannot rely on him to follow the proper laws. He's clearly LA ABC laws and the governor's executive orders, and due to imminent threat to public health, safety, and welfare, I'm voting to summarily suspend this license.
Okay, Commissioner Ford?
Indoor consumption, employees not wearing masks, and no food, just the basics. I vote summarily suspend as well.
Chairman Bradley?
I vote to summarily suspend. If you're serving customers inside at this point or your employees aren't wearing food, you're going to be closed.
I'm just
Aren't wearing masks, I should say. If your employees are not wearing masks and you're serving customers inside, you will be shut
In New York City.
in New York City.
Petri dish.
I'm gonna tell them. So,
I can't hear anything.
Commissioners, there is another summary that's going to be presented at the end of the hearing. You received the items. You received the items in your email. Before that summary, we will take a break so you can review the items. We don't need to mention it right now.
Okay, thank you. I see her email.
All right, we're going to return then to the regular order of the items listed on the calendar. 857, which is Greenbush Inn Incorporated. This is a conditional no contest plea.
Yes, it's an EO violation case.
Commissioner Fan?
I vote to accept.
Commissioner Ford?
It's a $3,500 penalty.
I accept.
Chairman Bradley?
I accept.
Next item, 858, which is 351 Habibi Deli Grocery LLC. This is a request for reconsideration. The matter was last before you with a cancellation of bond claim imposed after a default in pleading. Commissioner Fan?
I vote to reconsider.
Commissioner Ford?
I vote to reconsider.
All right. Chairman Bradley?
I'll vote to reconsider since it's going to be reconsidered.
All right, so now that you've voted to reconsider, Commissioner Fan, what do you want to do?
Well, let's just, can I just,
Yes, let
Can we just-
council.
can we just say for the record what happened here? This is a matter in which an individual, the licensed principal, had an untaxed cigarette arrest and did not respond, did not notify us, did not respond to the notice, then was served with pleading, didn't respond to that. That led the board to issue a cancel and bond. And then in responding, in the recon, fessed up to a different arrest charge, a marijuana conviction, and sent information on that. And then I believe in the supplemental materials realized that the arrest that was the issue that caused the charges in the first place was related to untaxed cigarettes, and sent in the letter saying that the guy was in another store and it was only 2 packs. I would also note for the record that in the intervening period, there was a renewal, and he answered the question that he had no arrests on the renewal application. So it was only at the point at which his license was to be canceled that he finally contacted us and responded to any of the materials he'd been receiving from us. And now he's asked for reconsideration of what is now a cancel and bond.
So I guess the question to you is, do you want to reopen the defaults and send it back to counsel's office, or just impose a different penalty?
The certificate of disposition, it doesn't appear to be stamped. Do we feel that's legitimate, or do we have any more information on that?
I'm pulling it up now.
All right. And as to counsel's point, in one letter, you said it was a greedy mistake on 7/1. Another one on 7/23, he said he was just helping. So I'm not sure.
Well, he's also been arrested so many times he didn't know which one to respond on. I'm exaggerating for effect. He mistook the charge as being about a different arrest.
He lost track of his charges, I guess. Yeah,
yes.
So.
I don't see that. I don't know whether the lack of a stamp means this is not the disposition. I don't believe that the board, based on what I've seen, should be concerned that he is a felon who will continue to be in business. I believe the issue for discipline is his failure to cooperate with us and belated notification of these events.
Okay.
So what do you want to do? You want to take it back, or you want to just set a fine?
He's defaulted. The case is presented for you for discipline, and you've acted. You would still be appropriate in acting and changing the discipline because it is still a default.
Okay. All right. I'm at 5,000.
Commissioner Ford?
I'll go along with 5,000 as well.
Chairman Bradley?
5,000.
Next item, 859, Spar 13 Inc. This is another request for reconsideration. Another matter where the members imposed cancellation of bond claim after the licensee defaulted. The chairman has stayed the cancellation order, and the matter is now
And the only reason I stayed it was because we all decided this, so I figured that we should all decide it again.
Right, and for the record, this was a matter where the licensee bounced checks for his license fee, three different charges because he had, I guess, 2 extra bars.
Yeah.
And then he ultimately sent in the money for the bad checks, which was about $13,000. And they've asked to reconsider. And I guess they've offered a $1,500 fine, or that's the usual fine that we make.
They're offering $1,500 on the premise that each check is $500. A penalty for one bad check is $500.
Right.
Typically.
But
Yes.
that does not constrain you. You can assess the discipline as you see fit, but at first have to decide whether to reconsider. Right now, it's a cancellation, right?
So I'd ask you first, Commissioner Mann. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Commissioner Ford.
Are we being asked to reconsideration first for the reason to accept the $500?
You're being asked to reconsider whether reconsider the case, to reopen it.
Then first I'll ask you if you want to reconsider to consider what he's proposing, or the license he's proposing, and then if you grant reconsideration, we'll discuss the merits. So on reconsideration alone, Commissioner Fan, do you want to,
Yes, I will reconsider, please.
and Commissioner Ford,
I will vote to reconsider.
and Chairman Bradley?
I'll reconsider.
All right then.
Yes.
On the actual request, the licensee is requesting that you accept $1,500 to move the cancellation and bond claim.
Yes, I will cancel and bond and accept $1,500.
Commissioner Ford,
Same here.
Chairman Bradley.
I will as well.
Next item, 860, the Georgia Motel Corporation. This is a conditional contest offer for 6 charges. And the license is, the license is no longer active, it's been surrendered. There's a new license in effect at the
You
location.
want to talk about this?
Yeah, just for the record, it appears that the entity who's applied for the new license was availing this location and using 2 bars that were not authorized. And only when caught did the licensee make the applications to, the new licensee make the applications to legitimize their management and running of the location and ask for the extra 2 bars, which they had not been paying for. So the existing licensee is being charged with the availing and with allowing all this to happen.
Former licensee.
The former licensee, correct, because it's surrendered. Yes, I'm sorry. I should have just used their names. The Georgian Motel Corporation is being charged with the availing and allowing these other violations to occur while its license was pending. And there's a CNC offer at $5,000.
And just so you know, it appears that the notice of pleading and the application, the notice of pleading went out just after the application was received. So it was all, licensing and did not know because councilors had just gotten the case. So
Correct.
Yeah.
Licensing might have not been so quick to send it out if this had happened a few months earlier.
So I'm sorry, can you just give me a timeline again as far as the charges and the new license is concerned?
Well, the conduct, as you can see from the agenda sheet, took place in between May and August of 2019. The license was not surrendered until February of 2020.
Yeah.
What the date of the NOP?
Yeah, it was about 2 weeks later. The application was filed in late January. I don't know when somebody actually got eyes on it, but probably sometime after that. So it was just, everything kind of happened all at once.
And what new license issued?
The short of it is they were operating for at least 6 months without filing an application for a new license by using the other individual's license. At least 6 months. It could have been longer than that.
And they applied what, under a different person or something? Or is the same person?
There was a license there that was approved by us, had been operating there. That licensee then rented the place out to a new licensee who did not apply for a license with us for 6 months, but continued operating that place
I
under the
see.
other guy's license.
And ordering liquor on the other guy's license, the actual licensee.
Correct. Using his bank accounts, ordering liquor, yes.
And it's
Okay,
that
so then
licensee.
why don't we just revoke and bond?
That probably would, at least canceling the license probably would be, defer to council, but that's probably the proper thing to do, you're right.
It's an avail.
The other one, the new one has now been conditionally approved on 6/23, which
But
that's coming here later, I would assume.
Yes, it would be.
Right, you can charge them with, you can't charge them with the availing on. Okay,
Correct, you can only charge the old one, but if you want to go cancel and bond, that's fine.
I meant revoke and bond.
All right.
Commissioner Fan, do you want to counteroffer revocation and bond claim?
Yes.
Commissioner Ford.
Well, we could rescind the conditional approval based on changing
Yeah.
facts.
I'm at revoke and bond as well.
Chairman Bradley.
Revoking bond.
Next item, 861, Plutarus Inc. This is also a conditional no contest plea for 4 charges with an offer of $3,000.
I will accept.
Commissioner Ford.
3,000 accept. 3,000
Chairman
accept.
Bradley.
Want the recon back before the members, when they're sure they'll do it?
Next item, 862, J&J Petrol Inc. It's a no contest plea for consumption on the premises, and they had a prior charge of consumption on the premises 7 months before this one.
Correct.
Commissioner Fan.
Second time, I'm at 4,000.
Commissioner Ford.
4,000.
Chairman Bradley.
4,000.
Next item is 863, Sig Petroleum Llc. This is a no contest default to 2 failure to display license charges.
I'm at 1,000.
Commissioner Ford.
I'm sorry, I got distracted for a moment. Which one are we talking about? 862?
863, Sig Petroleum.
863. What were you at, Commissioner Fan?
1,000 for 2 charges of failure to display license.
1,000, I'm fine with that.
Chairman Bradley.
I'm fine with her, that same as well.
Next item, 864, Vita Cafe Inc. This is a conditional no contest plea to 1 count of failure to conform, failure to comply. It's a $1,200 civil penalty offer.
This is
Mr.
for
Dan?
illegal use. Yes, this is for hookahs, 1,200 accept.
Commissioner Ford.
1,200 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
I'll accept this, but I do want to discuss this for a minute. Having been out and about quite a bit in New York City, it's obvious to me, and having spoken to the police departments in the various areas I've been in, that this hookah violation is now overwhelming. The large, and when I say large, up to 90% of the people that are using hookah, which is a number of establishments, do not have a permit for it. And for whatever reason, the New York City Police Department is not trying to regulate that. I think we should be probably raising the fine on this at this point, because it's obvious that they're completely ignoring the requirements of the permit process in New York, and basically smoking in restaurants, and it's not legal. So going forward, I just ask that we double that.
Okay.
All right, the next item, 865, Archway on the Water Corp. This is also conditional no contest plea to 2 charges. The offer is $1,500. I would note this license was surrendered. The licensee now has a liquor license at that location. So I would ask when you're voting if you want to have, if you accept the penalty, if you want to have it carried over to the new license history. So Commissioner Fan.
Good catch, Tom.
What's it want?
It's an executive order violation, this one.
Yes, Commissioner Fan.
Yes, I will accept 1,500, but it should go with the license, please. Thank you.
Commissioner Ford.
I'm not sure I understand what you meant, that there's another license.
So this licensee, when the violation took place, had a restaurant wine license.
Oh, okay.
In the meantime, since this was a relatively new pleading, the application was already in the works. It was conditionally approved and then issued while counsel's office, had just gotten the case.
Okay,
So
all
the
right.
new license was issued.
Yeah, this did occur during phase 1, takeout only. So I vote to, I'll accept the $1,500.
And you want this violation to follow the new license?
And carry it over, yes.
Okay. Chairman Bradley.
Same with me.
Okay.
Hey,
Next
Tom.
item,
Hey,
Yes.
Tom, can I ask you a quick question? Under what circumstance do people apply for a new liquor license when they want to do OP as opposed to class change?
That is a
That's
class
what it is,
change.
it's the same thing, okay? A class change is technically a new license application, we just.
Oh, okay.
administratively
Okay,
call
so
it
you're just
class.
calling it that. Okay, okay. So
Yes.
they did a class change. I
Yes.
understand. Okay.
The next item, 866, is a request to extend a conditional approval. The request is to extend the approval until October 31st, 2020. It expires on August 11th. Commissioner Fan?
1500 accept.
No.
Conditional
Oh, sorry.
approval.
This is,
Sorry, I'm still on the, sorry, 866.
Yeah.
6 months until February 11, 2021.
Commissioner Ford?
I'm good with that. Same as here.
Chairman Bradley?
I am as well.
Next item is also a request to extend a conditional approval. It's 867, Trade Jolie Cafe Corp. The conditional approval expired on July 8th. They're looking until August 1st.
That makes no sense to me, but I'll do 3 months until October 8th, 2020.
Commissioner Ford?
I'll go to 3 months as well.
Chairman Bradley?
So,
Next item, 868, is 1304A Second Avenue Associates, Inc. Conditional no contest plea, the three charges, $1,500 offer.
Yes, 1500 accept.
Commissioner
1500
Ford?
accept.
Chairman Bradley?
1500 accept.
I'll accept.
Next item, 869. This is New York OP 1321685, Bridge Soho Operating LLC, and HB Soho LLC. This is an on-premise liquor application subject to the 500-foot law, and there's protests from the community board and residents. Commissioner Fan?
Our own ALJ has come to the conclusion that this application should be denied unless there is a reduced size and shorter hours and more consideration for access on the Crosby Street side of the building. And so the community board is obviously actively against it. A lot of neighbors have written to us saying that there has been no outreach by the applicant to the community. And with all of that, I'm going to vote to deny.
Commissioner Ford?
It's a huge place to wedge into this neighborhood. I don't see how they could have up to 400 people with parking for even half of those number to be there. I was thinking along the lines of asking them to go back to the community board or to go to the community board and discuss reducing the size of it. But otherwise than that, if not, then I have to vote to deny.
Okay, so we're taking that as a denial then? You don't want to hold it over?
No, I guess we could take it as a denial.
Okay. Chairman Bradley?
I agree with Commissioner Fan. I think the ALJ spelled it out. They need to go back to the community board and try to work something out, because even what they offered the community board was rejected. The place is clearly too large in the view of the community board. I'm familiar with the street. It is an extremely quiet street for Manhattan, and this would clearly have a significant impact on the noise level on that street. So I vote to deny as well.
Next item is 870, Kings OP 1324620, Island Seas Lounge LLC. It's an application for a new on-premises liquor license. It's before you because the prior license at this location was canceled by the full board in 2019. Commissioner Fan?
Since the community board has no objection, has issued a letter of no objection, I am going to vote to approve with 6 employees, security guard on the weekends as necessary, recorded and live reggae music only, no dancing, karaoke is okay, 2 a.m. across the board.
Who decides if it's really reggae?
I'm sorry, Commissioner Fan, was that 2 a.m. across the board?
Yes.
Commissioner Ford,
I mean, like, if it's the police, is that reggae?
Did, is there no dancing?
They wanted no dancing. I'll give them
But they wanted
dancing. I don't know how you have reggae music with no dancing, but they said no
I was
dancing.
gonna say, whoever heard of reggae music with no dancing, that's what it's
I
for.
know. That's what they asked for.
So I'll go along with all the same conditions.
Chairman Bradley,
I will approve with the same condition as Commissioner Fan mentioned.
871, Orange OP 2218974, it's Mr. Dog LLC. Application for a new on-premises liquor license. It is before you because the prior license at this location was canceled in 2017, and a application for a license at this location was also disapproved in 2017. Commissioner Fan?
This licensee appears to be a sufficiently good operator because he has no adverse history with us, and he has a number of other licenses under his watch. So I am going to vote to approve with a bar tavern license with 5 employees, principal to manage, no security guard, recorded music only, no dancing, no promoters, and 2 a.m. across the board.
Commissioner Ford?
I will approve under the same stipulations.
Chairman Bradley?
As will I.
Next item is 872, New York RW 1323756. It's a application for a new restaurant wine license. It's before you primarily because of the percentage clauses that are in the lease and some provisions about control that the landlord has. And the applicant is also seeking a waiver of the 2-restroom rule. The applicant has contacted the Secretary's office. It wants an adjournment. It submitted supplemental material late and would like the matter held over until the next full board meeting.
Who is that?
Which is what, 819?
Yes. It's not the usual suspect. Or suspects.
Just for the record, well, I don't know what's in the supplemental material.
I don't know either, but I can guarantee you, which I know you were gonna say, I can guarantee you that if the supplemental material doesn't take these percentages out of the lease, this isn't gonna get approved. So that being said, we will grant the adjournment.
Yeah.
Commissioner Fan?
Yes, I agree with that.
Commissioner Ford?
Yes, I agree.
All right then. The next item is 873, Richmond L 1323780, Spirits of Flatbush, Inc. It's a application for a new package store license. There's one protest. Commissioner Fan?
All the liquor stores on Staten Island are not doing so great right now. There are no increase in sales. I see limited increase in population size, and so I'm going to vote to deny.
Commissioner Ford?
I vote to deny as well.
Chairman Bradley?
I vote to deny. The sales, as she pointed out, of the 4 closest are at best flat, and the population shows no additional increase. So I don't see an increase in demand or in population. And they haven't indicated that they're doing anything the other stores aren't doing.
Next item, 874, Elm Orchard LLC. It's a conditional no contest offer of $1,500 to 3 charges.
These are executive order charges.
Commissioner?
Yes. 1,500 accept.
Commissioner Ford,
1,500 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
I'll accept.
Next item, 875, is for NY Inc. Also a conditional no contest or offered to 3 charges with an offer of $1,500.
1,500 accept.
Commissioner Ford,
1,500 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
Next item, 876, William Leveling. It's a conditional no contest offer to 3 charges. The offer is cancellation of license and bond claim.
Cancel and bond, accept.
Commissioner Ford,
Cancel and bond, accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
Next item, 877, Dane Reese, conditional no contest offer to 2 charges, $1,500.
1,500 accept.
Commissioner Ford,
1,500 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
I'll accept.
Next item, 878, MAC CG LLC, conditional no contest offer to 3 charges, $1,500 offer.
1,500.
Commissioner Fan.
1,500 accept.
Commissioner Ford,
1,500 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
I'll accept.
Next item, 879, SADA 3 LLC, also conditional contest offer to 2 charges. The offer is $2,000.
2,000 accept.
Commissioner Ford,
2,000 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
Next item is 880, Restaurant Ventures of New York, Inc., conditional contest offer to 3 charges. Offer is $1,500.
1,500 accept.
Commissioner Ford,
1,500 accept. 1,500
Chairman
accept.
Bradley.
I'll accept.
Next item, 881, Christopher Dumont, also conditional contest offer, 2 charges. The offer is cancellation and bond claim.
Cancel and bond.
Commissioner Ford,
Cancel and bond.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
Next item, 882, Vault Door LLC, conditional contest plea to 2 charges. The offer is $2,000. Commissioner Fan,
These
I was
requested, go ahead.
No, sorry, you go ahead. I was going to go down a little bit on this one, but it's up to you.
Yeah, I was willing to go to 1,500.
Yep, 1,500.
Chairman Bradley.
1,500.
Next item, 883, JKM Prima Inc., conditional no contest plea to 2 charges. The offer is $1,500.
1,500.
Commissioner Ford,
1,500.
Chairman
1,500.
Bradley.
1,500.
Next item, 884, Solari & Sons LLC, conditional no contest offer to 2 charges. The offer is $1,500.
1,500 accept.
Commissioner Ford,
1,500 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
I'll accept.
Next item is 885, Cali Canuck LLC. This is a request to extend the conditional approval deadline. It expired back on February 29th. They were looking for 6 months.
This is a very late request, but I think Commissioner Roberts is comfortable with December 31, 2020. So I would go with that.
She right about that?
She's correct.
Okay.
Commissioner Ford,
I'll go along with Commissioner Fan, December 2020.
Chairman Bradley.
December 2020.
Next item, 886, is White Wine Authority, Inc. It's a request for reconsideration. The members had rejected a $20,000 CNC and came back with a counteroffer for revocation and bond claim.
Yes, council's office is going to ask that this one be put over to the next meeting. There's some additional information I'm aware of that we'd like to prepare for the members to consider along with the request for reconsideration.
What's the next meeting?
819, Commissioner Fan, you okay with that?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Commissioner Ford?
Roger that.
We should be saving that, right?
Chip,
The cover page?
no, you'll get a new cover.
We got a new cover. You always got a new cover.
Yeah.
You didn't just.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Materials.
I take it you're good with that, right?
And every time I got it, I would look underneath it.
Yes, I'm good with that.
Next item, 887, Layla Restaurant and Lounge, Inc. This is another request to extend the deadline for conditional approval. They're looking to January 15th, 2021.
January 15, 2021.
Commissioner Ford,
What date was that?
January 15, sorry.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, I'm good with that.
Chairman Bradley.
Yes, January 15th.
Next item, 888, Clock Cafe LLC, CNC of $1,500 to free charges.
1,500 accept.
Commissioner Ford,
1,500 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
Next item, 889, Vesloka Enterprises Ltd. This is also a CNC, $1,500 to 3 charges.
1,500 accept.
And you could have helped me pronounce it then.
I didn't know you were gonna,
Butcher it then. Commissioner Fan, Ford, rather.
1,500 accept.
1,500 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
ever do them?
No.
You should assume it. I just can't read
Get
the
the
name.
pierogies.
Next item is 890, 305 Legal Food Market LLC, a CNC of $1,500 to 3 charges.
1,500 accept.
Commissioner Ford,
1,500 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
Next item, 891, Trimore Inc., CNC of 3 charges, $1,500.
1,500 accept.
Commissioner Ford,
1,500 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
Next item, 892, AFB Lounge LLC, it's a CNC of $1,500 to 3 charges. You might have something to say?
So I, before he does, I actually have been to this place after these charges, because it's one of the places we summaried, and then I was in there after we summaried it as well, and I'm recusing myself from anything to do with this, but I will let Gary speak.
Yeah, I was just going to say that, we sent out this, the council's office screens offers that are gonna be brought to the board. When we told them that we would accept 1,500, we were unaware of the other conduct that led to the summary suspension. And while this is I believe this is the first case in time, I just want the members to be aware of that in connection with their decision about whether to accept this offer.
Okay, Commissioner Fan,
I will counter at 3,000.
Commissioner Ford,
I'll counter at 3,000 as well.
next item, 893, M&R Firefest Corp. to CNC of $2,000 for 3 charges.
2,000 accept.
Commissioner Ford,
2,000 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
Next item, A1 and J1 Restaurant Inc., a CNC of $1,500 to 3 charges.
1,500 accept.
Commissioner Ford,
1,500 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
Next item, 895, Wada Inc., to CNC of $10,000 for 4 charges, and there's currently a summary order of suspension in effect on this case.
10,000 accept.
Commissioner Ford,
10,000 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
Next item, 896.
These are all getting collected before the suspension's lifted. correct?
The members are already directed that these are the only ones who are sending out a notice of disposition, and the summary suspension stays in effect until such time as we have the money in my loan hand.
Okay.
896, Turkey Run LLC, it's a conditional contest of $1,500 to 2 charges.
1,500 accept.
Commissioner Ford,
1,500 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
Next item is 897, La Patio. You gonna help me with that one?
That's French.
Okay, close enough. Corp. I took French in high school. Conditional no contest plea of $1,500 to 3 charges.
1,500 accept.
Commissioner Ford,
Commissioner, 1,500 accept.
You can refer to yourself in the first person if you'd like, Commissioner.
We'd actually appreciate it.
Chairman Bradley.
Commissioner Ford accepts.
I accept.
Next item, 898, Ma Vito Restaurant Inc. It's a default for four charges.
$2,000.
Commissioner Ford.
I was going to impose 1,500. You know, like a lot of the others, they've been here since 1992 and no adverse history. So I was at 1,500.
Chairman Bradley.
2,000.
Okay. Next item, 899, Ford Greenfields LLC, conditional contest offer, $1,500 to three charges.
1,500 accept.
Commissioner Ford.
1,500.
Chairman Bradley.
1,500.
Next item is 900, Lehman Restaurant Inc. It's a default to three charges.
1,500 accept. I will do 2,000. Thank you.
Commissioner Ford.
2,000.
Chairman Bradley.
2,000.
Next item, 901, LE2 LLC. It's a conditional no contest offer to six charges, $2,000. Commissioner Fan.
These are two different dates, same week. 2,000 accept.
Commissioner Ford.
I was going to go to 3,000.
Chairman Bradley.
Yeah, I agree with Commissioner Ford just because it was 2 days apart and they clearly are continue to violate the executive orders on those dates. So I'm going to go to 3,000. Do we have anything in the pipe on them or?
I'm sorry, I just missed that because I just got an email. You're talking about.
This is
I mean,
901.
are they in compliance at this point? Do you recognize the name or no?
Tom, I'll go to 3,000 as well.
Okay, $3,000 counter offer across the board.
Can we just take 2 minutes, please?
Yeah, but I'm wondering if.
All right, we're going to take a brief
Yes.
recess.
Yes,
2
that's
minutes.
fine.
Just ask that you all mute your lines while we recess. Are we,
live or still?
are we all set to resume?
Yes.
Okay. So we'll get back with item 902.
Hold on one second, I got locked out. Okay, go ahead.
902, which is EE Bar LLC. It's a conditional contest offer to 3 charges. The offer is $2,000.
2,000 accept.
2,000 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
Next item, 903. Peralta and Marford Restaurants, Inc. It's a CNC to 2 charges. The offer is $4,000. There's a summary order suspension in effect regarding this case.
Hold on one second. Okay, go ahead.
Commissioner Fan?
This is a summary suspension case, but probably they've been shut for 4 months
3
now.
months.
So 4 months now. So 4,000 accept.
Commissioner Ford?
4,000 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
I'm gonna go 10,000. I just think this was a pretty egregious violation, and if it had happened now, they'd be significantly higher penalty, but it's, what they say was 4,000.
4,000, accepted the offer. Next, item 904, Kate's Italian Garden, Inc., a conditional no contest offer to 2 charges. The offer is $1,500.
1,500 accept.
Commissioner Ford?
1,500 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
Next item are items 905, 906, 908. Don Q, Inc., it's a conditional no contest offer to 3 cases. The offer is...
Yeah, there's no offer on this. That's what I wondered.
There is, it's not
In
on
the
the
letter.
agenda. It's not on the agenda sheet, but it's a $45,000 CNC, and that was attached. That was in the letter, the CNC letter from the licensee.
So, and just to be clear, this licensee owns another establishment in the general vicinity that we also were forced to do a summary suspension on. I'm not comfortable reopening this guy.
Yeah, there's also a summary on this one.
Yes.
Yeah, there were 2, just for the record, there were two summary suspensions of this location, Don Q, and another called Makers. They were done at the same time, same ownership. The court reopened one of them on a TRO, not both, without articulating why it was appropriate to find one summary improper and the other not, when both doing exactly the same thing. But then that judge apparently reconsidered in his own mind and rejected the application at the preliminary injunction stage and dismissed. So both are suspended now. We've sent up an offer on this one. The other case is going to go to hearing because we did not authorize sending up a fine on this one.
And the other case, sorry, the other case is the one that the court gave them back, the license?
Yeah, but then changed its mind and it's suspended and closed now.
Okay.
We believe that place has a more significant adverse history, and that case is scheduled for hearing, which is probably going to take place in the next week or 2.
And where is that one located?
So the other one is on Steinway Street in Astoria. This one is on Metropolitan Avenue in Kew Gardens. They're both in Queens.
So let me be clear, I haven't been to either of these places, but I have been to Steinway Street. And Steinway Street, compliance-wise, for EO violations is out of hand. And the fact that this guy's running 2 establishments, one of which is on Steinway and already has been shut by us, makes me seriously concerned what the compliance level would be if we were to open it again.
All right, so with that then, Commissioner Fan?
Well, what are the options? I mean, the only option is,
Counter, cancel, and bond, or I would counter,
Right.
I'm gonna counter, cancel and bond, revoke. If it goes to hearing, it's revoke and bond.
okay, cancel and bond counter then.
Commissioner Ford,
Might as well make it a hat trick, cancel and bond.
okay, next item, 907, Danford F&B LLC, to CNC at $1,500 for 3 charges. Commissioner Fan,
Tell me what number you're on again?
907,
Okay, 1,500 accept.
Commissioner Ford,
1,500 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
So,
Next item, 909, Bryant Park Wines and Spirits, Inc. It's an application for a new package store with opposition.
how much opposition?
There are 3 local package stores opposing it. Commissioner Fan,
This is an untimely application, and there's an argument made about service to the west side, even though this location is actually on the east side of town. There's definitely a population decrease from the COVID pandemic.
And actually, before you vote, I want council to weigh in on this because we have a pending appeal
Yeah, I just.
that we lost initially. So there may be another license already approved for this area that is currently in litigation. Go ahead.
I don't know that it would be one of the 4 closest, but Urbanite is the one that was just north of Grand Central, and Grand Cellars was an objector to that license as well. The board rejected that application. The trial court in the Supreme Court of New York entered a TRO finding, at least in counsel's office's view, basically redoing the work of the board and coming to its own conclusion that there was public convenience and advantage. And for that reason, counsel's office appealed the trial court's ruling. And that appeal is fully briefed. Is it fully briefed? No, it's not fully briefed. It's in the process of being briefed. But right now, as it stands, there will be another liquor, unless the appellate court overrules trial court. There's an order that would say that there would be another liquor store just north of Grand Central on Park Avenue, which understandably is a different avenue over, but that's part of the record on this case in the vicinity.
All right, so with that information that there potentially could be another store that was applied for before this and we're in litigation for, and definitely population decrease in this area, and definitely slow down of, business and office related traffic in this area due to the COVID pandemic. I don't see a reason for the store. I feel badly that Mr. Sherpa, this is already his 2nd try for a store. I would encourage Mr. Lin to work with him to find yet another location for this. I'm going to vote to deny for now.
Commissioner Ford,
Yeah, I unfortunately have to deny for now for all the same reasons.
and Chairman Bradley.
I don't see any public convenience and advantage, particularly if there is a pending store, which we won't know about for another year. The sales numbers of the 4 closest are either flat or one is slightly increasing, but the rest of them appear to be flat. So I'm voting to deny. I don't see any public convenience and advantage. And Commissioner Fan is right. The economic activity in that area, at least within the last 5 months, has decreased significantly because of the pandemic.
Next item is 910, Putnam Wine and Liquor, Inc. This is a application for a new package store license at a location where there is an existing package store license. It's not a transfer. This is a separate entity, although the principal of this entity is the principal of the existing entity.
Right.
It's one of my favorites.
In conferring with,
This is a first for me, I will say
in
that.
conferring with Mr. Roberts. Do you know the movie?
Yeah,
Oh my
you
God.
snuck that one in there. I like that.
In conferring with Mr. Roberts, thanks for the liberty, but this place has been on the COD list since 2015.
Correct.
It is a suspicious move to seek to change your corporate identity but have the same principle, and seek a new license number, my understanding. And the standard is still whether there's public convenience and advantage for this new liquor license, no?
Oh, well, before you get to that, the members can address just the general good cause and
Oh, yeah.
character and fitness. Yeah.
Good cause,
Yeah.
character, and fitness, it all applies, but then there's also the question
Yes.
of whether public convenience and advantage would be served by having somebody who's not paying his wholesalers have the opportunity to run up a new bill on credit by having a new license entity assume the same location. And there is a history here with this particular licensee with an availing in 2015 where he paid a substantial fine at the same location.
And additionally, the current applicant principals his business there now, AKRGS Corp, according to the Department of State website, is no longer active and has not been since 2016.
Oh,
Can we cancel a license when it's on an application or no?
No, but
deny and cancel at the same time? Well, we're going to certainly refer the non-bona fide issue to investigation. Anyway, I think you know what you need to know.
all right then, Commissioner Fan.
Definitely no to tax evasion. I deny this for fitness and character.
Commissioner Ford.
I definitely vote to deny as well.
Chairman Bradley.
I vote to deny as well. It's obvious he's trying to circumvent debts that he owes wholesalers in order to basically set up another credit line, presumably so he could do the same thing all over again. So I'm going to do it for cause as well.
Next item is 9/11. Caesar's Wine and Liquor Inc. It's an application for a new package store. There is significant opposition from 8 of the surrounding licensees. Commissioner Fan.
I want to be supportive of the, but I really don't see a need for another store in this area in Suffolk County. There's a lot of protests and not enough business to go around, so I'm going to vote deny.
Commissioner Ford.
The two closest stores, first one's sales declining, the second one's sales holding somewhat steady, third one we didn't get a response from, and the fourth one has been licensed just since 2019. So I just don't see the need for another store here at this point. So I vote to deny.
Chairman Bradley.
2019.
Yeah, I vote to deny as well. The stores that did report their sales showed declining sales. We just licensed the 4th closest store in 2019. This is Suffolk County, which is one of the most difficult places to get a new license simply because of the level of saturation of licenses in the area. I don't see that he's providing any services that are not already provided by the other stores in the area, so I vote to deny.
All right, the next item, 9/12, Rockaway Boulevard Wine and Liquors Inc. It's an application for a new package store license. Before we address the merits, I want you to know there's a request from the applicant to have the matter held over. They submitted a request to our board info website, email address to get any opposition and any other material. There was a delay in getting responses out to parties, so they couldn't get any.
When did they make the request? Not for the adjournment, for the opposition, which we probably had for months.
No, we have the board info email address where people can send in once it's on the calendar.
Right.
They sent something in, but we went a week without any responses.
Okay.
So
All right.
So you think we should put it?
I would say there is
Yeah, put it
a
over.
reasonable basis for their request.
And I don't need this here.
Commissioner Fan, Commissioner Ford, you're okay with that?
Yes, August 19, please. Thank you.
Okay.
Is it 19 or 18?
19. Next item, 9/13, State Wine and Liquor Corp. It's a application for a new package store license in Schenectady. Commissioner Fan.
Three of the 4 closest stores failed to respond. The responding store is doing 1.4 million in business. These two applicants appear to be related to, oh, they're probably cousins, born the same year and live at the same address. Oh, maybe not cousins, maybe they're married to each other and live together. So since the
Well, that we
neighboring
should know.
stores didn't respond, I really don't see a reason why I don't issue this. And so, for lack of better information, I'm gonna vote to approve.
Commissioner Ford?
That other store is over in Crosstown Plaza and Watt Street, which is an entirely different, pretty heavily traveled corridor. So this one is located on this extremely busy Route 5 corridor, which is State Street. It turns into Central Ave a few miles east into Colony, Albany.
Goes right by the casino.
I definitely think public convenience and advantage would be served by having a store here, so I vote to approve as well.
Chairman Bradley?
They are, Commissioner Fan, they are husband and wife, just for the record.
Okay.
I checked the personal questionnaire.
On the closest store or the?
No, the applicants. Their personal questionnaire indicates that they're spouses. I will vote to approve, mostly because the three of the four closest stores failed to respond, and I don't have any information indicating that this would not be public convenience and advantage to add another one, so I see no other reason not to grant the license, so I'm voting to approve.
Even the store that did respond with numbers did not protest.
Right.
I need to go back to a second to 904, which is Kate's Italian Garden. That was a CNC of $1,500 that you accepted. It appears that yesterday morning, the licensee's attorney emailed us and indicated that they're waiting for a letter from an elected official regarding the incident. And they're requesting that the matter either be held over to the next board meeting, or if not, they want to withdraw the CNC. This was a $1,500 CNC for executive order violation.
Where is this located?
It's in Bolton Landing.
Lake George.
They can, all right, then withdraw the CNC.
So is that okay with Commissioner Fan, Commissioner Ford, you're okay with that?
Yes, I will hold it for next time.
No. They want to withdraw the CNC.
Oh, withdraw the CNC?
Yes.
Okay, that's fine.
I don't care, put it back.
Mm-hmm.
We'll
Going back to
go-
council's
we'll take
office.
it to hearing.
Back to council? That's nine,
Yeah.
that was 904,
That's
correct?
904, yes. Apologize for that. So it was a last minute request.
It's okay.
Next item, 914. This is Boulevard Wine and Spirits LLC. It's a request to remove a package store from one street in Tupper Lake to another.
Like it makes a difference.
Yeah, it looks like the closest four stores will remain the same. Door is actually smaller than the existing one, only less than 1 mile away, so I will vote to approve.
Commissioner Ford?
They're actually moving further away from the closest store, not only to a smaller footprint, but actually even further away to another part of the village. So I vote to approve.
And Chairman Bradley.
I vote to approve as well.
Next item, 915, GJC3 Inc. Their request to change the method of operation. They're looking to add a DJ, jukebox, karaoke, patron dancing, and it may have been a mistake, but remove recorded music. But that's what they
You
asked.
want to dance with no recorded music?
I don't know if it was an error in their application, but they took out recorded music.
Well, they have live music, so they're just gonna have, oh no, they don't.
Yeah, their method of operation, they didn't indicate that they wanted to maintain recorded music. And maybe they assumed that they were given it.
Also, for the record, On this case, the licensee, although he was not charged for it, had a DWI in March of 19. Convicted, first offense, misdemeanor. And that's the only, there's no other adverse history.
What was the misdemeanor?
March of 2019.
Okay.
So no adverse history since July of 18 when we approved it.
Okay. Apologies, I referenced that, but I will note and make it more clear that that is not a charge with adverse history against this licensee.
So with that, Commissioner Fan?
Should we have a discussion whether karaoke is recorded music?
No.
I'm just kidding. I see that there are actually no residents on the street and they have no adverse history. They are asking to stay with their 2 a.m. close, and because of that, I will vote to approve the DJ jukebox karaoke. I believe jukebox at least is recorded music. And so I will continue to allow the recorded music with patron dancing.
Commissioner Ford?
Same here, same conditions, I approve.
Chairman Bradley?
I'll vote to approve under the same conditions.
916 Charlie Store Corp. This is a application for a new tavern wine license. The applicant is requesting an adjournment. When they saw the calendar posted, they saw the questions to be considered, and they want time to address the questions to be considered.
Sure.
That's good.
819?
Yes.
There's a question that needs to be considered.
Great.
Commissioner Ford?
I'm fine, 819.
Chairman Bradley?
819.
Next question, next item, 917, 2869 Meat and Produce Corp. It's a application for a new grocery beer and wine products, and it's related to the next item on the calendar, which is 918.
Yes, for the record, both cases involve the same principal, and they're probably both here because that principal availed one of the 2 licenses he's now seeking. It appears for 6 years, and he's applied for that license and another license.
So with the on item 917, Commissioner Fan,
I vote to deny.
Commissioner Ford,
I vote to deny as well.
and Chairman Bradley.
I vote to deny for cause.
And then on 918, which is BB 3008 Food Court, also the application for a new grocery store beer license. Commissioner Fan,
Yes, I vote to deny for cause.
Commissioner Ford,
Same here, deny for cause.
and Chairman Bradley.
Deny for cause.
Next item, 919, Barbie's Restaurant and Lounge, Inc. This is another request to extend the deadline for a conditional approval until January 14, 2021. Commissioner Fan,
January 14, 2021.
Commissioner Ford,
Approved January 2021.
Chairman Bradley.
Approved with the same date.
Next item, 920. This is FAA Bar and Grill Corp. It's a application for new on-premises liquor license, subject to the 500-foot law. And the last license at this location was canceled for availing.
It's a 500-foot case.
Yes.
It was prevailing, but it's not related to the parties that are involved here, right? That's my understanding.
That's correct.
We have no evidence that they're related,
Okay,
and there are no protesters.
okay.
Community board resolution of no objections.
This would not otherwise come to you but for the cancellation.
Okay. Given that, where is the 500-foot decision? Do you guys have the 500-foot hearing decision in your packet?
It's in there, and it's positive.
I don't see it. Why don't I have it? Is it in the supplemental?
Hold on.
I only have the community board. Oh, here it goes. I'm sorry, I see it. It's actually issued differently. Okay. All right, since the 500-foot hearing came out positive and the community board also submitted their stipulations, I will vote to approve with the following. 10 employees, 2 a.m. across the board, recorded and live music with acoustic music only until 10 p.m. and 1 licensed security guard after 11 p.m. The owner has also agreed to the community board to installing a sound limiter. There will be no third-party promoters. And there will be no DJs. Only recorded and live acoustic music until 10 p.m.
Okay, Commissioner Ford.
I'm good with all those as well.
Chairman Bradley.
I'll approve with the same conditions.
The next item is 921. Angela Rimbaran. It's a conditional no contest offer of cancellation of license and bond claim. Commissioner Fan,
Yes, cancel and bond.
Commissioner Ford,
Cancel and bond.
Chairman Bradley.
Cancel and bond.
Next item, 922.
You want to email Lisa? Oh, no, we'll take a break.
This is a proposed advisory to extend a existing advisory issued with respect to the COVID situation regarding safekeeping of license certificates.
So want to explain this, Adam, quickly?
So we are currently allowing licensees not to place their license into safekeeping if they are not acting as a restaurant, if they're not open during COVID situation. We are seeking to extend that time that they do not have to submit their license for safekeeping.
This is just extending, we already have an advisory on it.
Correct.
We're extending it. Yes.
So with that, Commissioner Fan,
Yes, I vote to approve.
Commissioner Ford,
I vote to approve as well.
Chairman Bradley.
I'll vote to approve.
Next item, 922A, Hudson River Brewing LLC, conditional contest offer of $10,000 to resolve 3 cases. Licensee is currently subject to a
3
summary
cases
suspension
or
order.
3 charges?
3 charges. Licensee is currently subject to a summary suspension order.
10,000 accept.
Commissioner Ford,
10,000 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
I'll accept, but they need to be on notice that should this happen again, we'll slap another one on there. Because this conduct, even though it was in May, was pretty egregious at the time, and it would be even more egregious now.
Then the next application, next item is 922B, C, and D. It's combined craft manufacturer's license that would result in a microbrewery license and a farm distiller's license.
Correct.
For Torch and Crown Soho LLC. The applicant does want an adjournment to make additional submissions. It missed the deadline.
I'll take it.
Commissioner Ford,
I'm fine with that as well.
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
on this matter, would you take a look at the ownership structure of the parent brewery, please? If you look at the chart, the parent brewery 100% owns this particular establishment, but on top of that, there's a 21% ownership by outside investors. Would you just take a look at that for me, please?
I will confirm with you, but I believe based on what I reviewed, there was nobody that owned over 10% in that entity. It was made up of several smaller minority.
Understood.
I'll vote to adjourn as well. Who is the rep on this?
There is none.
Really?
no. Okay, we're gonna take a brief recess now.
Yeah, so you can look at the new materials, members.
Okay. And it's only the thing that's in the email, or is there stuff in the folder?
I think it's just
It's,
email.
no, your material is in the folder.
Okay. It's item J.
Yes.
Remember, you should mute your lines right now since we are in recess.
Sure.
But yes, it's J, yes.
Hey, Tom, are we still off the record here?
All right. The meeting is still being recorded, but we're in recess.
Okay. Lisa, when council gives her presentation, would it be possible for you to give a clear description of what's in the photos?
Sure,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Just if everybody could just make sure their mics are muted until we go back on. Okay, we are back on the record. We have one more item on the calendar. It is 922J, a request for emergency summary or suspension of council's office regarding Madison Global LLC.
Good morning, Chairman and Commissioners. I'm Deputy Counsel Lisa Ogden from Council's office. This matter has been referred to our agency just this morning, and it stems from an operation that was conducted last night where investigators visited the licensee known as Madison Global LLC, doing business as Nello at 694-696 Madison Avenue in New York City. The investigators, as a part of the governor's task force, they went to the establishment and they observed dining indoors despite the governor's executive orders, which, among other things, indicate that there's no inside on-premises service whatsoever. During the visit, the investigators observed at least 8 patrons seated indoors at approximately 7:30 p.m. And when the investigators spoke with the manager on site, he claimed that the police officer said that serving at these tables in the window was in compliance. But the pictures, they actually show people being served at tables that are not in the window. They're not near the window. You can clearly see at least 2 tables that are entirely inside the premises. At least 8 people are seated at these tables, and there's just no question about it. The licensee, he or she will be charged with violating Executive Order 202.3, which is designed to prevent the further spread of COVID-19, along with failure to supervise. At this point, everyone knows that this is not allowed in New York City, and this is just another example of a licensee who's showing no regard for the governor's orders. This licensee is clearly not taking the public health, safety, and welfare of the community at large seriously, and it doesn't deserve to have a license. I'm requesting that the license be summarily suspended at this time.
Commissioner Fan, any questions?
No, I do not have any questions. Thank you.
Commissioner Ford?
I have no questions.
Chairman Bradley?
No question.
And with that, I'll call for your vote. Commissioner Fan?
It's disappointing that this licensee thinks that he's following the law, but really is not. And on a Tuesday night, is choosing to allow indoor service and not sufficient social distancing, and allowing customers, patrons to be walking around with insufficient masks. This licensee is not following the governor's executive order, and due to imminent threat to public health, safety, and welfare, I'm voting to summarily suspend this license.
Commissioner Ford?
Patrons standing around and consuming, mingling, instead of being seated, employees not wearing proper face coverings, open container, indoor consumption, so forth and so on, as Commissioner Fan has already stated. For those reasons, I vote to summarily suspend.
Chairman Bradley?
Yeah, the pictures, I mean, this is just pathetic, really. I mean, the rules on indoor dining in New York City and what constitutes outdoor dining are very clear. And these pictures are indicative of the fact that this person or this licensee felt like these rules did not apply to them. Whether a police officer told them this was okay or not, to me is irrelevant, because it's clear on our website, in our guidance, and in the New York City outdoor dining plan, that this type of seating is completely inappropriate and dangerous. It's obviously dangerous, and it's a risk to public health and safety and welfare, so I vote to summarily suspend. And Commissioner Ford, did you look at these pictures? I just want to be clear you're looking at the right pictures. We're talking about Nello, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And you see the
Yes.
sitting inside with the roof on the top?
They're black and white. They're kind of fuzzy, but
No, Commissioner Ford, there are colored pictures now scanned into the folder.
That are very clear.
oh, hang on a
Wait, I
second.
didn't see those.
No, but he.
Wait, hold on.
I'm sorry.
Just get the column ones. They're in your email too from Lisa. Just so you get a clear picture of what's going on.
Oh, okay. Hang on a second.
Oh, wait a minute, the color picture
That's the
didn't get.
same one, black and white.
It didn't get
Right.
the secretary.
Go to Lisa Ogden's email. Do you have that there on your computer?
Yes.
Go to her latest,
recent email.
most recent email, and there's those same pictures
Was that
are attached and they're color.
11:04.
Oh, I see it now. It just came in. Ah,
It just
okay.
came in here too. Got it.
Yes.
Give me a second.
Yep, definitely sitting inside and very happily having meals.
That's a little bit better picture.
They're kind of smiling for the camera as well.
Wow.
All right, well, we've got the vote, so.
All right, well, thank you, Tom. Thank you, Chairman.
I've got no other items on the count, Chairman. Anything else?
No,
All right, with that then, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you all very much.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
How can you be,